Today we are going to discuss everything that happened in July. Anything of note, we're going to talk about it. Stay tuned. All right, we are back for another episode of Wrapped. This month is July. Very interesting. A lot of
always.
things.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened as usual. We are in person today, which is a different.
Live and in color.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have my co-host Aaron, Power Finance. We have our special guest who's
MVP's in the building for once.
Yeah, is he a guest? I feel like he's family. You know, it is what it is. So
yeah.
We're about to, where do we start with this? We're going to jump right into the Adam 22 and Lena. Is it Lena?
Lena.
Say her full name, please. Have some respect.
What's her full name?
Lena the Plug.
The Plug.
First of all, that is an egregious name as a porn star.
I think it should be Lena Gets Plugged.
Oh, see? That's what I'm saying. You lead yourself into whatever, you know. Anyway, so the internet was a buzz because Lena the Plug and Adam 22 are married. Adam 22 is from the No Jumper podcast.
Yep.
He has a couple other podcasts too. They have a podcast together, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't
The Plug.
know about that.
It's called Plug Talk.
I guess that's why she's the plug.
Let me break down that podcast because it's very intriguing.
Okay.
So they have porn stars come on and they interview them. And then after the interview, they have sex. That's genius to me.
That's genius. Hold on. Let me ask you this, though, because I've never seen the podcast. Do you know if they change locations or are they still on set with the mics and everything? Like,
you know what, Aaron,
push the mics to the
that's a
side.
great question. It's on the set, like right there.
So they
really?
just,
With the mics and everything, they knock the mic
but I
off.
mean, it switches from like how we have it set up to someone actually holding the camera.
interesting.
But are the mics still there? Because I'm trying to figure out.
No.
Oh, they take the so they
No, the mics are
this
gone. Yes,
exit
yes.
stage left, and then another mic comes out.
Great question.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, either way. So they are content creators because that means a whole lot of different things these days.
Yeah.
But the controversy came up because Lena the Plug did her first guy on girls scene with another guy that was not Adam 22. And so that caused a lot of stir because there was a lot of, what's your famous word you like to use all the time?
He's a cuck.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's a cuck. Yeah.
So that was a thing. And then they started doing interviews about it was just, honestly, to me, it felt like just a whole push to make, hype behind this, and then people realized that it was interesting, and then they're like, oh, I'm sure she got a ton of subscribers on her OnlyFans as a result. So it's all a cash grab. But then it got weird to me because Adam 22 was going out to dude. I think he's Jason Love is his name.
Yeah,
is that his last name? Love?
I think it's Love.
Okay.
And he made it sound like some threatening stuff. It's like, oh, you can't move around in these streets, you know. And I'm just like, first of all, you're in the porn game, so like, you're not a street guy, right? And even if you're connected to street guys, like, is this another one of like the Ray J and the booty bandits? Booty bandits, like,
that's crazy.
Like, what are you gonna?
I think he was trolling.
I
don't know, like, because I heard. So just for the viewers, listeners, Jason Love came out with an interview after the scene with Lena.
Right.
But it was also after they had done their podcast about it.
After they had done their podcast too. And what the dude said was, hey, the lady asked him, hey, do you think you have sex better than Adam?
Oh, yeah. And he said clearly.
And he's like,
yeah.
There's no question about it.
The dude is a porn star. Like he's an actual porn star. Like, he gets paid to shoot porn, not like Adam 22 and them.
Who's just doing it with his wife.
They do it with
Yeah. So, I don't know if he was, because I heard his voice and I'm like, if you were trying to sound tough, it didn't sound
You're
tough.
talking about Adam.
I'm talking about Adam.
Yeah.
Like his response
There's
to it.
literally nothing intimidating about Adam 22. Nothing he says, nothing he does. So, yeah. Like, that dude that Jason Love dude look like he can wrap him up.
Bro,
he doesn't even have to work for it.
So I'm like, it's kind of crazy you talking to him like that.
But I didn't even think any of it was real. I thought that. Did you just say that you thought they were trolling? Because what I got from it is this is just a way to bolster more sales for the OnlyFans and all of that. I never took it as like this guy truly is saying you can't come out here. Like, it's Adam 22, man.
Yeah.
So I never took it as that.
But he said you can't move around in these LA streets. And I'm just like,
you don't think that before all of that, they had a conversation like, let's really push this for the streets. Let's really get people talking about this.
You know what?
Dude, they're doing the Tekashi 69, man.
We gotta be very.
He who should not be named. I feel like it's like
he who should not be named. Listen, Kodak Black just did a song with him.
Yes.
6ix9ine is starting to get a little bit more acceptance and relevance out there. We might not want to admit that, and this is not a part of the conversation, but it's happening. It's happening. But in either case,
see, the thing is, yes, I think this is I call it the post-Trump era, where any publicity is good publicity, and Trump didn't start that. But that, I feel like that was like his thing.
Yeah.
That he ran his whole campaign. He's like, I did whatever I wanted to do, right? So I guess I could see where you're coming from. But like, as a man, and I thought it was hilarious because when Adam 22 did his interview with Jason, he was like, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't let my wife do this, which I thought that was crazy because
that's interesting, right?
Yeah, just straight up saying,
nah, I wouldn't do it, but I mean, hey, you
pay
me money to do it, I'll do it for you.
Yeah, it was just really funny to me. But
so I have a friend who's in the porn industry, right? And so me and him had a conversation about this, and I wanted to bring this to the table.
Go on.
So he was like, he doesn't understand why this is such a big deal. Let's elaborate. He says, hey, when you're in that type of industry, even when you're not in the industry, they have swingers. Everyone knows what a swinger is. What's the difference? I have sex with your wife. You have sex with whatever. They're swinging.
I think a lot
So is it because everybody knows about it? Because he mentioned this. He was like, hey, after people were swinging, they don't exactly go on the internet and talk about it. They go home and keep it moving.
Right.
Nobody's talking about it.
Also, you don't generally see it on camera. Like, you're not rolling it out as a paid content, right? Like, you just give it up how you live. You're not necessarily like, subscribe to my OnlyFans to see my wife get plowed by somebody else.
Plus, they're very public in their life. They just got married. They just had a child. So you add all of these different elements in there, and it's like, this is what's going on. Like, because I heard a lot of people saying that too, think about the future of your child that now has to,
I saw that going around.
Which is odd because she's already on the internet doing all kinds of odd content anyway. But it's like now mom and this guy, and I don't know, it's a nasty, messy situation.
Work, like
absolute nasty work. But it was one of the biggest items of the month of July. So,
Well, and I think more than anything else, it's just they set it up to be this way. I think they knew, even with the rollout was like 3 or 4 weeks long.
They kept going.
So I think that it worked. I would assume Adam 22 knows how to get some kind of viral moments. That's literally what he does on this podcast. So, and honestly, was anybody checking for No Jumper before this?
No,
I'm sure.
And
I still won't check for it after this. So,
I think they lost their members.
There was a whole podcast they did just about this episode.
Correct.
How she felt. I couldn't, like, we had it in a group chat, and I was like, I started listening to it, and I'm like, I just don't like Adam 22.
Exactly. I feel this. I probably feel the same way about him as you do about academics.
Yeah.
Like, I can't listen to, I feel more so about, you talk about culture vulture. I feel like he's even more of a culture vulture than you consider academics to be. So I can't listen to anything he does. Even when people that I'm interested in go on his show, I can't check it. I don't know. Something about his personality does not feel authentic. He just seems like he's there for the bag. And clearly that's what he does, because this is the reason why him and his wife are doing what they're doing. They're just driven by money.
Let me pose a question. So he's having sex with hundreds of women with her.
Right.
You don't ever think she's gonna, especially she was a porn star before she met him.
Mm-hmm. Was she?
Yes. Well, she was doing OnlyFans
did
content.
Did you hear the
stuff.
story of how they that they actually?
I heard. I saw that one snippet.
Yeah, when they started dating,
this is how they were giving it.
They
up.
literally had him and his friend had like a threesome with her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I heard about that.
So I mean, that's how they do it.
So to get to the core of it, I'm saying, hey, if you and your wife are having sex with all these women, you think you can just keep going and she's not going to want to have sex with a guy? And because I noticed something he said, because it was like a little snippet. He said, hey, she even was trying to talk me out of it a little bit. But I was like, no, we said we're going to do this. Let's just get it out the way. That leads me to believe this has been an ongoing conversation. And one thing I think would be an issue is if she has resentment for him because he wouldn't let her do it when he's been having sex with all these women.
Yeah. I think it is a fringe kind of relationship just based on the fact of the work that they're in. So it's a real thing. That's why I heard multiple other people be like, yeah, well, what's the big deal? Like they already do porn. Like why is it such a big thing? But
right.
I definitely feel like it was made to be a big thing. And then everybody else was like, Antonio Brown was like, I got next. I was like, what is wrong with you?
That's the extra part.
A lot of people said that. Aiden Ross was like, I got
next.
That's disgusting. Like, absolutely disgusting.
I mean, but it's funny because that's what happens in it feels like in like Hollywood anyway. It's like everybody's going after the same girl anyway. So you're doing the same thing. It's just that no, you're doing it on OnlyFans. So
exactly.
It is what it is.
But moving on from the plug.
I think we had enough of that. Next, we're going to talk about the babies running on the side of the street and, you Googling Taken 2.
Yo, that's crazy.
Taken 2?
I think of all of this, I think that was the part that like struck me the oddest is that in researching how to kidnap yourself, she was reviewing movies like Taken.
But no. Taken 2? The second one?
So you're saying if it was the first one,
the first one is a little bit more respectable. If you don't know what we're talking about Carlee Russel and
the hoax that she perpetrated against the police.
The only other thing she needed to do was go and get Subway, and we have another Jussie Smollett, bro.
Seriously, she needed a lot more though. She needed a couple of Africans. She needed a noose. She needed to be.
She got away with half of it by like leaving her wig. So she put some time in it. You went and got snacks for your excursion. Snacks. You went and bought snacks before you ran away, bro.
That's hilarious, man.
It's weird. I don't know what else to say about this other than it's
What do you think she was doing during the time that she was away, though? That's the part that I still want to know.
She was on Google searching for Carlee Russell.
What was the goal?
But she left the phone at the scene.
She had a throwaway.
That's what I heard. She left the phone. You think she had a burner?
That's even worse. You would know that you were leaving this at the scene and you're not going to clear your history? You're not going to use an incognito window?
I'm trying to figure out what's the goal, though.
That's the question. Like, what is the expectation here? So you kidnapped yourself. What were you expecting? Were you looking to just run away and start a new life? And you realize, like, I need money. I need a plan.
Right.
And she abandoned ship halfway through. Like, what exactly took place there? So,
as many of the unfortunate jokes of like fathers going for smokes and never coming back or milk, you could have just left.
Yeah,
you literally could have just left. But to me, it seems like a cry for attention. It feels like a super cry for attention. And, she needs to get some help. But, like, at the same time, you wasted our time.
So, another podcast had a theory that she was trying to get away from a dude.
What dude?
Some dude that she's probably interacting with.
But then run away. Don't call 911 and say that you have... That's my point. Why would you call and make such a fictitious thing?
Like someone that, because I heard the whole thing where people were blaming the boyfriend, and then he was ultimately exonerated because clearly he didn't do anything. Was it him that there?
What dude? But get away from, like, we don't know this.
We don't know. That's the thing.
But what are you getting away from that you had to call 911 and say you saw a baby on the side of the street? That's the part I don't understand.
That's when people think too hard and like, okay, let me make it extravagant. So it makes it more believable, which it made it less believable because it's like, hold up, where the baby came
where
from?
Where the baby came from. You could have been kidnapped by yourself without calling 911.
She could have just left. She could have just left because, like you said, even if she did leave and they ultimately found her, it would have been, hey, it
wouldn't have been a national story.
Exactly. Plus, you would not have been in a situation where you're now being charged by the police for all of these different crimes that, this false.
My question to her was it worth it?
Clearly, it can't be.
Like,
she didn't accomplish anything.
Like, what was the goal? Like, you could say, as we talk about, like 6ix9ine, like people was like, was it worth it? I'm like, literally, it created his career. It almost killed his career. But now it created his name in infamy so that even who he is, right? Most people know who he is.
Hard to not know, yeah.
But like, what was the game here? Like even Jussie Smollett. Like Jussie Smollett was on the end of his career. Like there was not much stuff going on for him at that time. I think they were about to fire him off of Power. Wow. Empire.
Okay.
So I think, in his mind, he's like, well, if I stage this big thing around me, then I'll get some attention from it. What was the goal here?
No,
bro?
I agree. I have no idea. That's still the question that I have, and I'd like to know ultimately because I heard she put out a statement, but I would like when there's the court case and everything, that maybe we get some answers. Even though nothing is owed to us, I would like to know what was the goal because I just want to know what the psychology of the whole situation was, and I guess we'll have to wait to find out.
I feel like some people might do things just to go viral though, like. By any means necessary.
This is a lot.
She went viral.
Yeah, she did.
But
I mean, you got a year in jail and some fines. But
but I'm like,
everybody knows about you now. You could probably flip that.
She might contract something viral in prison. She's gonna keep going viral. You know, so
Wow. I don't have anything for that.
Right.
I'm just mad she Googled Taken 2, bro. I'm sorry, that's the most upsetting thing to me. Not even the baby on the side of the street. Like, that's crazy, right? Because we've heard many, many jokes. I remember Dave Chappelle had a joke about a baby selling drugs and stuff like that. So that I could get past that. But you were going to go missing and you decided to search Taken 2. Taken 2.
This man is more upset about Taken 2
than
100%.
Anything 100%. Taken 2. That's
Leslie Nielsen sees this. He's not going to be happy with you.
No, because he's going to be fine. He had a set of skills at the beginning. He didn't use a set of skills in the second one. He was just showing up to get a check.
Was that the one when his daughter got taken?
Again?
I don't remember those Taken movies.
You don't remember Taken 2? The wife got taken, I think, in 2. And the daughter was like a badass at that point.
For real?
Yeah, she
I don't remember Taken 2, I have to admit.
That's my point.
But
like, what are you like?
To be honest, I don't remember Taken 1 either.
Honestly, I don't know if she was Googling Taken 2, but somebody saw a tweet from her that said Taken 2 was my movie. And I was just like, what? That's like me saying, Fast and Furious 9 was my movie. It's like we don't remember anything past the first one. I just know that they did some egregious shit, right? Like
they're pretty much superheroes at this point.
Yeah, we put Tyrese and Ludacris in space in a car. Like that's all we remember. That's all we remember. But like Taken 2. Anyway, moving along to actually, I want to say one last thing. I feel like she should have gotten punished more than that, but I never want to see people go to jail unnecessarily. But I think that there needs to be a clear thing that says if you're going to do this, you should get the full extent of the law. You should get the full...
I agree.
But she didn't hurt anybody, right?
She didn't, but she cost money. It's just
the misuse of federal... Well, what did it go? It was only state, right?
It was only state,
So the misuse of the taxpayer dollars... For this nonsense, there should be some penalty because we don't need to continuously see repeat offenders. You have to let people know that you pull this nonsense, there's repercussions to these actions. So I don't know about the full extent. I don't know if I want to see her go to jail, but there should be something.
I don't know. The jail part is horrible.
That's too extreme. People don't need to go to jail for petty crimes like that.
But it's something. It's to be making it very clear that like you're not going to be Carlee Russel.
Make her go work with
right. You're not gonna be Carlee Russell Taken 2. Okay, we're not gonna do this.
Listen, she might get immortalized in a movie. I could see it happening,
bro. That movie's gonna be 35 minutes long.
I was like, what can you do with that?
35 minutes long, bro. What happened during this scene? Like, you're gonna see her drop her wig and throw her phone and like grab the snacks and run out. Like what?
Listen,
like, come on, man.
Listen. about a month ago, I sat down and watched Pooh, Blood and Honey. Mm-hmm. They took the story of Winnie the Pooh and made a movie out of it about him becoming a murderous. So they could do something.
What is this on Tubi or something like?
No, this is a real. We don't even need to go off on a tangent on it, but there's a film.
Winnie the Pooh like that?
Dude,
you already walking around with no pants. Now here murdering no pants wearing bear.
Damn, son. Why you have to bring out the man's pantlessness?
Because man, this
pantlessness
is inappropriate. That's all.
It's a different time. Anyway,
like just real quick, if your man's like, if y'all was like at a hotel and he came out with just a shirt on and no pants,
this is the same.
With his cheeks hanging out the bottom.
I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
This conversation would turn.
I'm putting hands on him. I'm putting hands on him.
Unacceptable. That's all I'm saying.
Anywho.
Talking about wearing no pants, having your cheeks hanging out.
Damn. That was a K-Styles level transition there.
Listen,
wow. That was good. That was awesome. Anyway, so yeah, Keke Palmer. Now, I want to say for the record, I got to give Keke a lot of credit. I think Post. No, we're gonna start off there because Post Baby, she got her groove.
That's how Keke got her groove back.
Not back, she got her groove. Like, she was always, to me, I was like Keke Palmer. But like, I'm like, damn, the MILF is a good look for you.
Okay.
I don't know. Someone's gonna be like,
you approve of the cheekage.
You only care about her because you're a man and all that. I don't want to hear all of that.
But what?
People say that. Like, it's like, whatever. But do I approve of it? I mean,
it's Usher.
But as an outsider, yes, I approve of it.
As an outsider, you approve of it. Yeah. But as someone that is in a relationship, if you were to put yourself in the position of this man, how do you think you would have felt and how would you have approached this situation?
Well, one, I would have approached it from, hey, let's have a conversation. I wasn't getting on Twitter.
I agree with that.
I wasn't getting on Twitter.
I agree with
that. Because you know what? At some point, I don't really necessarily like that as much, right? But, I'm also not going to tell a person, you have to wear this, and then we're going to get into people and their standards later on with the Jonah Hill thing. But I don't think he went about it in the right way. So I give him a little bit of the blame. Actually, a lot of the blame there.
No, I agree with you. I agree. Even if you did have like a real problem with what was going on, what she was wearing, all of that, I feel like that conversation should have been one that was not handled online.
Correct.
It should be offline, just person to person. But I've also heard the argument that what took place was available for the world to see. So his response should, but I disagree with that. I personally, and forget this Keke Palmer situation. I just think any relationship that you're involved with, friendships, mother, brother, romantic, it does not matter. There's something happening. Get off the goddamn internet, man.
Yeah.
Like we've gotten to the place where too many things that people go through are handled for the public. I'm just.
Yep.
And if someone handles anything with me publicly, done. Yeah. I don't cut people off. This is the cutoff king here.
Yeah, for real, all day.
I will literally cut someone off for that. Like I don't even in person. Don't talk to me. Don't apologize to me.
There ain't nothing to talk about.
We could have handled that person to person. Yeah. You took it on the internet because I'm not with this internet nonsense.
So if someone says something about you in public, you're not in the belief of, well, if it's the response should be public too.
You say something about me publicly, it's gonna be like that person doesn't even exist. I'm not responding to that.
And it really depends. To me, I'm like, I might pull up on you. I like, see what's up, right?
That's more where I am.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, what's good? What's up? Like, that's why, like, I want to let everybody know as we're building out this, I'm not doing internet beef, bro. I'm not doing internet beef. If you have something to say to me, either come on our conversation, let's have a conversation we could do that part publicly, right? Like we can have a conversation for content purposes.
We can hash it out online.
Yeah. But I'm not going to back and forth. Like I watch a lot of these people go back and forth. I ain't doing that, bro.
That's a fact.
I ain't doing that. That's like if it's really serious, we can set up some time and we'll be amicable. But like I'm not doing that. So all that to say, I think Keke, I don't even know his name. What is his name?
What, the boyfriend name?
Yeah.
The boyfriend.
I mean,
that's
we
his
can
name.
check, but I don't even remember his name. The dude was the dude.
I feel
that's
like
crazy.
I feel like that, and even when he said, "Oh, you're a whole mother," I have an issue with that. Also, because just because you had a child doesn't mean you can't do it. Like, I remember somebody said it about Beyonce one time, and
Darius Jackson.
So Keke Palmer's boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember somebody said about Beyonce one time, and I got upset because she was like, right after she had her kid and she went out to perform, and she was like, "How could you be out there like that, dressed up like that after you just had a kid?" And I'm like, but that's how Beyonce is all the time.
Always, yeah.
So it's not like she was going to a Usher concert. She was performing. Like literally, I don't say how she gives it up, but that's how she gives it up.
I think that was a scapegoat. He did not like that, and he said, "You're a whole mom." But the reality of it is, he probably, because a lot was going on. It wasn't just the dress. She was all over Usher.
It's Usher, though.
She turned around to show him the cheeks. Like, that's a lot, man. That's crazy, man. That's insulting.
In all fairness, Usher played a part of this. Usher.
Yeah.
No, you cannot blame Usher.
I'm blaming Usher.
No. That's like finding out that your girl is giving it up to some other dude and blaming the other dude and exonerating her from the blame.
I'm not giving...
Usher has nothing to do with this. That is nasty work.
I want to say on the record, I have a strong dislike of Usher. So
this is biased.
This is personal.
You do?
Yeah, this is personal.
Who dislikes Usher?
Seriously,
I do. I'll tell you why. And it's a weird thing to align with, but it's all celebrity shit. I don't know any of these people. So Usher went up to T-Pain and said that he ruined R&B. I'm never going to... Listen,
Didn't he do music with T-Pain and it was a fire song too?
Listen, I know they might have resolved it internally, but when I heard that, as a T-Pain fan, I'm like...
This didn't happen long ago.
It was a long time ago.
No, I'm saying when T-Pain
talked about
revealed this information.
And listen, T-Pain may have come to terms and he might be good friends with Usher, but I'm going to stab and say it's on site for Usher because he's outside. He's
Usher,
on site.
Just come have a sit down with us.
Yeah, I mean,
so
none of this is serious.
That seems like something we can definitely squash.
I want to say for the record, if we ever get to the point, I'm gonna keep the same energy. I'm like, yo, what you said to T-Pain was messed up, but that's your relationship. I don't want no parts of it. But at the same time, Usher is on site. Either way, this is all. Like I just said, this is not no real beef. I'm literally just joking. I don't want nobody like, oh look, he's hating on Usher, but Usher out here causing relationship issues, bro.
Listen, I can't blame Usher.
Hey,
I blame the women that are allowing Usher to cause relationship issues.
Listen, there was a clip I saw from some dude, and he was talking about how he was with this girl, and he saw Usher at like at a restaurant, and he was like a record producer or something like that, and she started flirting with, and they were like about to be married, started flirting with Usher right while he was there. So Usher plays a part of this, man. I'm sorry.
So insert Future. She belonged to the streets.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened.
So I like Usher, right?
I like Usher too. I love his music.
Oh, if I say go.
His classics are crazy.
Crazy, right? So my thing is,
give him his credit. I'll give him. He made great music.
So my thing is, this is a Las Vegas
residency. Yep.
Where he's doing this type of stuff every night. He's entertaining. He's an entertainer. So we have an example of who's the lady who did not
Winnie Harlow
feed into Usher's charm and whatever he's doing.
What's her name? Saweetie also didn't seem to feed into it much either.
Exactly. So he's doing if he's doing this every night for entertainment, I think it's on the women.
Girl, yeah.
Like he even did it to 21 Savage. Yeah, he tried to
He made him sing.
Yeah, he's doing he's like, come
he
on,
made him sing. He didn't make him turn around to display the cheeks.
Come on. Don't get 21 messed up. Don't get 21 messed up.
Bro, man.
Can you do something for me?
Oh, snap. That's funny. That would have been crazy. If Usher spun 21 around and like, 21.
Right.
Can you do something? I think that would have been the end of Usher.
Yeah. He probably wouldn't have survived that.
Anyway, I have nothing to add to that.
But to go back to it, I'm saying is that you have an example of people reacting to what he's doing different ways.
Right.
So one lady, what's her name? Do you remember the lady who like sat on the lap of
Winnie Harlow?
Winnie Harlow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So she sat, like when Usher came over doing what he do, she sat on her boyfriend's lap, and Usher reacted in such a great way because he was like, oh, he understood. And he kept it moving. So Keke Palmer could have did the same thing.
Nah, she wanted attention.
But here's the thing. Keke was out there. Where was dude?
Oh,
he was home. He
exactly.
was babysitting.
Okay, cool. Well, you play your role.
That's crazy. So my whole thing is too, like, yo, if he did not approve of what she was wearing, like,
he didn't see that?
Exactly.
He didn't see that on the way out?
No, like, was he in another state babysitting and she's in Vegas with the girls and she went out with that? And that's disrespectful.
That's one of the reasons why she was upset, because she said, hey, he saw what I was wearing when I left the house.
Come on now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He
actually saw it?
Yeah.
And he was okay with it when she left. And that's why I said that whole "you're a mom" nonsense has nothing to do with it. I feel like he just didn't like that interaction with her hugging up on him spinning her around to display the cheekage, all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's Usher though. I'm not blaming Usher.
What does that mean?
My point is the hold that Usher has had on women for a long time is unmatched, maybe to like Seal. Like, you remember Seal?
Yeah,
Seal was just knocking them down. You don't know him?
They love Seal.
Seal was pulling them like
bro,
that.
I was like, Seal was untouchable. Him and what's this dude? I forgot his name. There's a bunch of dudes that I'm like, yeah, okay, these dudes, they just gonna pull them.
Well,
so
like
you
Prince?
know,
I don't know.
No, well, Prince was another beast, but no, Lenny Kravitz.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, all right, these dudes, it's another level, right? So when your girl not send, because I don't want to say like she was sent. When your girl goes out to have fun, she goes out, whatever happened, that's fine. And especially if she's Keke Palmer, we all know Keke Palmer's name. So anything that happens is going to be seen. There are girls who are going on Miami trips that you don't know what they're doing when they come out there. But it's Keke Palmer. I mean, Usher. It's a recipe for a headache.
And I would say, like, it's probably the internet thing too. Like, if everybody sees what's happening and knows that's your girl, he's probably got people in his ear like, yo, do you see your girl? Like,
that's why I feel it's like a respect thing, because it's not just the homies or whatever. It's your parents. It's your family. This woman is the mother of your children. She's out there going crazy like this. Like, I don't know. Me personally, I see myself as an extension of my partner, and I'm not going to do anything to embarrass them. And I expect the same level of respect in return. So, on a relationship level, I think it was nasty across the board. What she did, what he did, it was all disgusting. But they're not married. They have a child together. Maybe it's just a very casual relationship, and he got in his feelings in this one instance. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the question really is whether or not, like, how strong the relationship is, because I think if you know that you're dealing with somebody that's in the spotlight, there's always going to be time, like, are you going to be upset when she's in a semi-sex scene in a movie, because that's work, that's I'm saying, like that it opens up I start to question about the strength of your relationship, and especially being the lesser known person in that's a whole nother dynamic. If your significant other is somebody that's well known and out there, and they're acting in movies and doing all kind of stuff, like, there's a potential that they're gonna have to do scenes that you may not be comfortable with, and then what do you do?
So staying within the vein of that, Jonah Hill, his ex-lady who revealed information about what was going on during their time together, kind of falls into that.
Correct.
He met her, and she was already a surfer, and she was already surfing with people in different crews and stuff like that. But when she revealed the text messages, it was clear that he was not comfortable with any of that. And he was basically saying, and he had a whole list of things, if these are the things that you're expecting to do, surfing with men, constantly displaying your body on the internet, all these different things, then I cannot continue to be in a relationship with you. Yeah. So are you saying that his point of view is wrong because this is what this person does? Well,
I don't necessarily think his point of view is wrong. I think that his approach was, in my mind, correct, because you're creating the space where you know exactly what to expect if you want to continue on this relationship. I don't know if Keke Palmer and
Jackson.
Darius.
I don't know his name. I still don't know his name.
I don't know if Keke Palmer and Keke Palmer's boyfriend.
Yeah. I don't know if they created that. They created that conversation, because my thing is, and to MVP's point, he approved of the outfit when she was going out, so you knew what was going on. So I say that as I don't necessarily see what Jonah Hill's situation is very similar to this. I know that people are upset that he's demanding this woman change, and I get the similarities with like the job type thing, but was she getting paid to surf, or was it just a surfing thing she did for fun?
No, I think she's a model, and surfing and stuff like that all piles into her line of work.
Interesting.
So I don't see what he was saying as being wrong, but he was going crazy, man. Like,
you think so?
Bro, you saw the list of all. Listen, if this is how he feels and these are his quote unquote boundaries for how he wants to carry his relationship, then more power to him. But I just think it was a little crazy. Like to literally have a bunch of bullet points and say, if you don't fill in all these bullet points, it's a wrap. But then maybe that's healthy.
But I'm saying, like, do we not do that in general? Like, isn't that part of your selection criteria?
That is true. That is true.
It's just that we're not writing it out and then having someone put it on the internet.
No, but that's true.
There is a selection criteria. If you have somebody that's out there doing crazy stuff, you'll probably be like, nah, I don't know. Unless you're Adam 22, and then you're fine.
He's with everything.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's not supposed to be shade. I'm like, it is what it is. But I feel like you were about to say something.
Well, so there's two parts. One with the Keke thing. I wanted to get y'all insight. That outfit in general, would you approve your lady to wear that?
Unacceptable.
I think it depends on what
a celebrity.
I think it depends on the situation, right? Like, if you're going to the beach, sure, I don't really care.
I can see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
situational.
It's definitely situational, but I'm also not in a place where I feel like I want to be the person dictating what my partner wears.
Okay.
So, like, if they ask me, I'm like, maybe a little bit much for church, right?
Right. Don't wear that to the family barbecue.
Don't put that. You can't go to church.
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can't. You can't. Listen, man. You're gonna have some church ladies throwing candies at you, but like we don't want that problem. But like, I think that conversation, if it happened, which it sounds like it happened, that was your opportunity to be like, maybe not.
I agree.
Okay. And that's why I give him. I don't know. KPB. Keke Palmer boyfriend. I don't know what his deal is, but he looked like a sucker in this one. But to I know you had a second point.
Well, I want to know what your thoughts were, because you asked whether or not we thought in general that outfit was okay or not. What's your?
I think it's situational.
Okay.
Like, for example, this situation, you're going to this extravagant show or whatever. Go ahead, do your thing. But like I said, you're not wearing that to the barbecue, the family barbecue. You're not gonna have your cheeks out around my cousins and
so you're okay. You're
stuff.
okay with it in the concert situation.
Yeah, because
and what about the behavior that was surrounding it too? Are you okay with that?
Well, I'm secure, and it's freaking Usher.
Do you think it's an insecurity thing though?
I think so.
Yes,
you think that's an insecure? So, at what point is it no longer insecure because it's secure? Security is in play when she's all up on Usher. He's spinning around so he could look at her ass and things like that. That's okay. What if he gave it a little smack?
That's disrespectful.
Why?
There's limits to it. There's
like the
so he can spin her around to look, but don't touch.
There you go.
That's it. That's your limit.
Because this is, if I'm looking at it from an entertainment standpoint.
If it wasn't Usher, you'd be okay with that too?
Oh, if it wasn't Usher?
Yeah, no.
Hell no.
But why does that change the dynamic?
This is why I was saying.
Because he's Usher.
It's a dude with a schlong. I don't care what his level of celebrity is.
I want to point out, this is what, you see how
that's how y'all giving it up? If it's a popular dude,
no. We didn't say it was a popular dude. I said it was Usher.
He's Usher.
We got back to where I said.
Can we put on that level? Can we put Drake there?
No.
So just Usher. What about
Drake?
R.
Do
Kelly?
too much.
No, seriously.
Why would you go to R. Kelly?
Because I'll tell you why I'm going to R. Kelly. Because before the whole child thing,
okay,
R. Kelly was that dude.
Not really. I mean, okay, a while ago.
A while ago. Son.
Okay. You know who I would put on that list also? freaking like who I wouldn't put on a list. Like any like Chris Brown.
No.
You would not.
No. I feel like there's a nostalgic thing, but like
it is a nostalgic thing with Usher.
Who other person in that category would you put up there?
I have to say,
Michael Jackson.
I'm extremely surprised.
Michael Jackson, forget about it.
Like Michael Jackson did that. Michael Jackson.
I don't even see Michael Jackson as like a straight dude, though.
Whoa,
but he is a person who's had interactions with women.
Wait, no,
like,
wait, hold on. We're not gonna be blaming Michael Jackson here. I will veto.
But
yeah, what?
I didn't say he was a homosexual dude.
You say you don't see him as a straight guy.
Don't.
Wait, so you're saying that
that's like bestie?
No, you're saying the way that you're looking at him. Okay, so that the question for you then is how you feel about Prince.
Prince will steal your girl.
Prince is that dude
with a blouse. With a blouse.
You heard Prince's voice? Prince's voice is deeper than all of
ours.
So
that's true.
Prince was that dude.
Would you have let Prince? Would have been okay with Prince? See,
we come full circle.
Yeah, we gotta. You see,
come on,
yo, just like you said, I'm not policing anything.
Right? I'm not policing anything
I'll
either.
Feel about it how I feel once it happens.
And that's the point. That's the thing.
I might snuff Prince though.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, you gonna get your ass beat.
Doesn't matter. I'm still gonna snuff him.
He gonna try. He gonna hit you.
Have you not been in fights where it clearly was weighed against you?
I heard he got hands. He had hands.
You're still gonna do what you're gonna do.
It doesn't matter.
True.
I'm stepping to you regardless. That's disrespectful.
But okay, so the thing I would say
it'll be the artist formerly known as Prince, not because he changed his name, but because I put him in the dirt.
Okay, well, this took a turn.
No, all respect.
You can say all that now.
No, but my
Prince
point.
Don't want nothing.
Yeah, right. We're gonna move on. But to the limits thing, I would say like if Keke Palmer was on top of Usher the way like how Janet Jackson movies, her concerts. I don't know if you've seen her concerts.
Yeah,
but she'd be going ham on people that she bring up on stage,
and women too. Like you got Nicki Minaj. She'll straight up almost give the dude like a lap dance on stage. And if it would,
to me, if it went that far, I'm like, all right, cool, come on now. Like that's a little bit much, right? Like
so you are okay with everything up until the touch.
Listen. Turn around. Yes, that you turn it. Look, okay.
She
looks good. I'm like, yeah, she does, right?
I can't police whether or not it happens, but I would be very uncomfortable with that. Another dude grabbing first of all, her hands are around his neck. She's dancing on him. Then he grabs her, spins her around to clearly take. Listen, call it what you want. That will make me uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm not walking away feeling great in that situation. I'm not.
I understand. But okay, so what about like I feel like we've been on this already. But what about you're like Halle Berry. You're dating or you're married to Halle Berry and she has that scene with
that
Billy.
guy.
Oh hell no. No, come on. Son. No, absolutely not. That would not be my lady. Bro, she was completely nude, bent over,
that was
taking work from Billy Bob Thornton. No, bro.
The person alone is crazy to me.
Yeah, come on, man. I can't have this hillbilly dude plowing my girl, bro.
Yeah, that was like borderline racist.
It was as real as it possibly could be to my eyes.
It was acting.
But that was a controversial
there was
scene.
ripples.
Oh, good.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not, bro.
Examined.
Nah, bro. Every night I gotta go to sleep with the vision of the ripples in my brain.
Bro, that's acting.
The ripples weren't real.
The ripples were real,
but
there was nothing.
Bro,
it was not real in the sense of
Are you okay with that? You're okay with the ripples?
If the person I'm with and we had a conversation and they were gonna do a sex scene like that. Yeah, if it happens, it happens. If something else happened beyond that, then you
gotta what?
We might have to see Billy Bob Thornton at the shooting range or something.
So you're gonna see Billy.
But I'm saying but my thing is there's a level to that, and that the level is like, okay, well, you would say that in your mind it wasn't a physical thing, but it looked as real as it could get. Versus the Keke Palmer thing where. That was just like the things that happens on girl trips. A lot of times you don't have cameras around. It's probably for the best.
Well, yeah, if you don't see it,
Correct.
Then that's different. But I don't know. I have to be able to go to sleep okay with myself too. And I know, regardless of what society may thinks is okay, I kind of have my own limits, kind of like Jonah Hill. I have my own limits of things that I'm okay with and things that I'm not okay with. And at the end of it all, because my personal feeling is, and I'm going to say it, you know, fuck society. I don't care about, there's literally no one on this earth that I can think of that I would be okay with disrespecting me and saying, you know what, that's cool. I'm going to have a great night. Appreciate. No, there's going to be a problem. And if I feel disrespected in a situation, I have to go back to dealing with how I consume that. I have to ask myself, are you okay with that? Because it's hard for me to wake up and live with myself knowing that I was uncomfortable in a situation and I just let it slide because it was not okay to speak on how I felt about it. I have to live with myself. No one else has to live with me. I have to live with myself. And if something unseats me, I'm going to speak on it. Where that goes, it goes. It doesn't have to come out in an unhealthy way. You can have a healthy conversation. Yeah. You can come to a place of compromise and understanding, but I still have to be able to somehow resolve how I feel about the situation, regardless of how everyone else feels.
I respect that.
And I would say it probably wouldn't even get to that point. Like, based off what you're saying, I don't even think you would mess with an actress. To be honest with you.
I wouldn't. Because you wouldn't even put yourself in the reason why
to possibly be disrespected. So,
man, this is a very insightful man over here. Very insightful man, because that is exactly the case. I know things that I'm not, just like with the Jonah Hill situation. He met a woman that was already a model, that was already surfing with all these dudes. Right. This was what she was doing. And now that the relationship started, now it's like, nope, I'm not okay with that. I wouldn't even put myself there. That would be, like a fun situation. Hey, she's a fun girl. She likes to go surfing. She's showing everything on the internet. I'll have my fun while it's time to have fun. And then when I'm done, I'm done. And that's it. You can't take that seriously. You're going to take her home to mom and have kids with her. And this is what she's doing, all while this is a situation that I don't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it makes sense. Oh.
No, I was going to say the second part.
Yeah, we never
got to say which is the Jonah Hill thing. I guess my thing is I've known people to be in situations where they did certain things to attract the opposite sex, but does that mean you keep doing it when you're in a relationship? So I'm trying to get people's thoughts thinking.
Good question.
Like, hey,
good question.
Yeah, you might have been doing whatever you was doing before me, but now that you're with me, I want you to stop doing that. And people's arguments are, well, I was doing it before. I'm like, well, you could say that about anything. Like, but you going to keep doing that in a relationship? Like, if you're dressing all like
provocative,
like Keke Palmer.
Whoa.
And like, it was a little provocative. I didn't say it was a bad thing. I'm just saying, hey, if you say, hey, I was dressed like this and this is what attracted you. And I'm like, okay, you got me. Why would I want you to keep dressing like that to attract other men?
Good question.
I can see someone having that argument.
Yeah. And that is an argument that I keep hearing time and time again, where people will say something along the lines of, oh, you met them doing this. Listen, there's a lot of things that you may have met someone doing or that you may have been doing when you met them. Once you get into the relationship, there is an expectation that you will curtail certain behaviors and change certain things, because now the dynamic has changed. And like you said, what you're doing when you're single cannot calculate into the same things that you're doing in a relationship. To say, oh, you met me doing that, what kind of foolish retort is that? Well, that makes no sense.
And I think that one of the biggest things there is that the conversation needs to be had, right? Like, you should at some point said, okay, well, hey, we're crossing this barrier of seriousness. Correct. And this is what I expect. That's why I think that the Jonah Hill thing is interesting, because they were saying that, oh, look at how controlling he is, which I have issues with the girlfriend, because I don't understand, the ex-girlfriend, because why would you put this out now?
Attention seeking.
It was super odd.
Because
she's hating.
He's engaged, or
clearly he found someone who met those criteria.
The kid is on the way. Oh, and it has something to do with the Keke Palmer thing too, because she was like,
at the same
she was
time,
like, hey, if you thought that was bad, what her boyfriend did, Look what Jonah did. And I'm like, that's hate and not the right, he's moved on.
Right.
And then you said you were good friends with him and the new person. It's
and she still put that out.
And you still put that out. Crazy. Like, to me, that's wild. But
attention seeking.
I think that, honestly, people need to have more conversations like Jonah Hill about what your expectations is. Is his what his expectations were a little bit stringent or harder? Maybe, right? But you should have had that conversation early on so that there wouldn't have been a place where, well, this is what it needs to look like in order for you to date with me. That should have been the early stages. And then you wouldn't have had to have that at that point. So I mean, I think people do need to have those conversations. I don't know if they need to have it over text though. I think that was another problem.
That's the worst form of communication for things like that.
So let me get personal a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not going to give too many details, but I'm having an issue with somebody that I'm talking to.
Okay.
And I'm having a hard time linking up with them, right? And I'm like, I don't want to have this conversation through text.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the reasons why I've been watching Suits.
This man loves his Suits, bro.
I never checked it out. I keep seeing it, but I haven't checked it out.
And like, you can really get yourself caught up when you're leaving trails like that, right? Mm-hmm. But also, I'm like, I do think that if it's an important conversation, you should be talking to that person on, like, either in person or on the phone. Like, I don't think it should be through text.
I agree.
And then now with the age of social media, if you DM somebody, if you text them, it's a great chance that it's going to be screenshotted and used against you in the court of law. I mean, later on, social media court.
Yeah.
Because Jonah Hill was in social media court.
The court of public opinion.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
The court of public opinion. Yeah.
So a wise philosopher once said, I DM in vanish mode. I do that shit a lot. And I get it. Mm-hmm. Young 21, you knew what you're talking about because you ain't seen none of his screen. You ain't seen none of his DMs anywhere.
That's a fact.
Hey, I get it. It makes sense. But it's a weird change of this new society that we have where it's like you do anything, and like you said earlier, it's going to be on the internet. And it's like, even if it wasn't meant to be. So,
no, I agree, but as a person that prefers to communicate over text or even a voice note rather than a conversation on the phone, when it comes to like real conversations that need to happen because something serious is taking place, I got to talk to you in person. Even the over the phone thing is a little different because people behind that veil still display behaviors that they would not in your face.
Yeah.
So,
So is FaceTime closer? Because at least you can see that person's face?
I gotta be there. Be there. It really depends on the situation too, because there's a level of disrespect that people will allow to take place when you're not there. Yeah. In your face, a lot of people don't have the same energy as they would have over FaceTime, over text, over voice note. Doesn't matter. People's ability to convey how they feel changes drastically when they're in your face. Especially if it's a situation with another dude. You gotta be there. So I'm on.
I would say the FaceTime offers a space that you at least could see where the energy is. I think that a lot of communication is nonverbal, and FaceTime allows for you to kind of see that, but it doesn't beat being in person. And then to your point, like, I think if in your case where there are people that are not responding to your other form of communications, you're forced to use text. But even then, it should be like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm expecting. But we need to have a conversation about this. We need to sit down and have a conversation about this. So that would be my advice. But then that creates a whole, that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, but as I said, I don't know if like Jonah Hill. Well, actually, do you guys think Jonah Hill was toxic or an issue in this question? Because that was kind of the.
Do I think he was toxic?
Toxic.
Nah,
that's what I'm saying, yo. I don't like that part. Like the toxic, manipulating, or emotional abuse. All these.
No, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any. I saw a man who communicated how he felt about a situation.
In not a disrespectful way either.
Right. Plus,
at least from what we saw.
Yeah, exactly. And text cannot convey emotion. It cannot convey cadence. It cannot convey inflection of voice. None of it.
Intent.
So we're just reading it as an angry, controlling, belligerent individual, and that's clearly not what happened. So I don't really see anything wrong with what he said. It was more so of the fact that she put it out at a certain time because of what was going on. It's like when the Me Too movement was happening, it was like, all of a sudden, all those dudes were automatically just labeled as guilty, So that's really all that it is. So,
well, we've waxed eloquently for a very long time on this. So moving on to
hip hop.
Yeah, we're talking about some hip hop, man. Shout out and salute.
You want to start with Pusha and Jim?
Nah.
You want to start with Uzi?
Yeah, let's start with Uzi. I would like to talk about something that I actually appreciate.
All right. Well,
okay.
2023 was not a great year for hip hop up to this point.
Yeah.
But we got our first #1 hip hop album, and it came in the form of Lil Uzi Vert's Pink tape or Pink album or whatever the hell he decided to call it. How do you feel? Did you listen to it at all?
I listened to some of it, and it felt like it was kind of, it gave us such a different style of what, like, can we really consider this full hip hop?
I was about to say the same. Did you listen to it, MVP?
No.
You did not at all? Like nothing?
So that first single, I Want to Rock or
I want to, yeah. Where he barely said anything.
Well, let me be respectful because I might have to run into him one day. But I'm saying it's not for me.
The single wasn't for you?
No.
It's not for me either.
Nah, bro.
Like the beat? Oh,
for dancing,
great.
yes.
The beat is great. And yes, dancing, whatever. But I guess my thing is, I want to challenge people. I want you to make a dope song like that, but also have substance into what you're saying.
So I want to question something, but I'm going to let you go first.
Go ahead.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, it was hip-hop album. Hip-hop and rap, even though hip-hop and rap are kind of joined together, hip-hop isn't rap. Because hip-hop could be street style. It could be dance. It could be graffiti. So now that I'm thinking about it, I guess...
Listen...
It is a hip-hop album. It's not a rap album.
Yeah.
Like Nas dropped Magic 2 a week ago. That's a rap album.
Yeah.
And it's a phenomenal rap album. But it's not, rap album, #1 rap album. It's hip-hop.
You know what's interesting? I heard Logic talk about this. He's like, why is it that hip-hop doesn't have subgenres the way that like EDM does and rock and even pop? Because I think if you started to segment it out like that, you would realize that not everything needs to fit into the hip hop category.
True.
And that's why, like, I applaud the album from what I heard. I thought it was good. It felt a little bit.
A good album.
I thought it was good as it felt like Lil Wayne's rock album.
Lil Wayne's rock album was. Well, I haven't listened to that.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't listened to the dude stuff.
Okay.
But I'm like, does it sound anything like that single?
No, it does not.
Okay. Then
I think that's but
he stole Cardi's style on a lot of songs.
I want to say for the record that single was hard, bro.
Why?
What part of it?
If you put that thing on anywhere outside in your car, if you put it on while you're in the club, you're going to go crazy. If you put it on while you're washing dishes, you might cut your hand on something because
high energy.
It's one of those songs where you shouldn't be listening to it for substance.
It's like the Drake, not Drake. It's like the Meek Mill intro. You don't listen to that in the house while you're vacuuming unless you really want to get through it quick. Like, it's like those, it's the appropriateness for where it's supposed to be. And I don't think that
he's right.
I don't think it's meant for like just general, consumption. As
if you throw that on in the gym, you're going crazy.
Yeah, bro.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Your PR, bro. Your PRing for sure
like
that day.
Yeah.
So
and that's fine. It's just that I think it matters where you listen to music.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard it, I was just chilling. And I first heard it when I saw the video.
Oh, okay.
So I'm getting all this energy from it, right? I'm like, the video was super dope. It's like he got like Kai and that in there. I pay attention to amping them. So I'm like, I'm getting like I'm this in like anticipation, right?
You're waiting for some.
I'm like, I'm like, and I've heard his other stuff.
Yeah, you're waiting for bars.
So I'm like, oh, like on this beat,
yeah.
But this about to go crazy. And then he don't say shit.
But
that was my first reaction too. I sat there waiting, and it was just like the dance and all. And it's like he's not gonna rap.
Every now and again,
it was a letdown.
Every now and again,
I think that's what it is.
I get that.
Every now and again, you need a record like that just to get stuff. It's like March Madness from Future. What really did he say in that whole record? He didn't really say anything but that vibe. And when that thing comes on, you're like, ooh, it gets the scrunch face up. Like, and I think that we need to be okay with music being that, like, different things. It's like you can go to a restaurant and you can get an all-you-can-eat buffet, or sometimes you just want to go get fruit, right? But
I understand what MVP is saying. When someone who can rap, like Uzi can rap, is on a beat that's hard like that, you want to hear him rap. It's like Drake. We know Drake can rap. I mean, he can rap.
Yeah.
So if you hear a fire beat and Drake does not do what you know Drake can do, you're going to get disappointed.
Sometimes.
So I understand where he's coming from.
No, and I get it. But sometimes I feel like the musician in me is always like, sometimes the vibe is just it, right? Like you just want to, if you catch that vibe and you just add a little, it's like,
So you're telling me
you
if
add a
Uzi,
little extra salt on top of the seasoning, and like this thing is really good by itself.
I get that.
That beat could have been fire by itself, but with him just popping off on it, it's stadium music. It really is stadium.
I could see that. That would go off at a baseball game, because I recently went to a baseball game, and I could see that popping off there. But you're telling me if Uzi were to do a remix and he actually rapped on it, you would not want to hear him rapping on that? You want to
it's not that I don't want to hear him. I just think that not everything has to be like, especially this day and age, it doesn't have to be like this formulaic, like
I get it.
We just do this time. And that's a hard thing to accept, especially now when we do get away. We are served up, Pound Town. Like, I no shade to Pound Town girl. But I don't want to hear about the color of your booty hole. Like that's literally what is
I caught up to that late, right,
bro?
And I was like, what is this Pound Town that everybody's talking about?
And I'm like,
what is she saying? My pussy pink, my booty hole brown.
I'm like, I didn't need to know that.
Is that sexy red broad?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I could have gone through my whole life.
She's not sexy.
She looked like.
Listen,
some people say she looked like Young Thug.
I can see that.
No.
I can see that.
Some people say that. I didn't say it.
I didn't see it. You did say it.
I didn't say it. I said some people said that. And I was like, word on the streets is she looks like Young Thug.
People have said it, because there's a picture of her and Drake going around where he's like holding her, and people are like, yeah, he's cuddling Thug.
No.
Like, people have said that.
Slime.
Yeah.
No.
Anyhow, but I think with music now, you have to also just know that, like, when you get stuff like that, this is just what it is. I mean, there's people that put out stuff like, I was trying to think of like your boy Jack Harlow before the album, before this last one that he did, and it was just like, what was this, bro? You sat in the studio and recorded this and edited. You understand?
But his most recent one is
he had to made up for. I feel like he made up for the last.
He heard what people were saying.
Exactly, because I heard that. Well, not heard that he did what he needed to do.
And so I think when music, especially now, and especially after COVID, I feel like because everybody sat down for a while, we didn't know what we were gonna get.
Right.
And so. And Uzi was dealing with some like label stuff. And I feel like anytime you watch an artist deal with label stuff, like afterwards, it's kind of hard to see them find their footing, because then that's when the business affects the art. So,
and he said that. He said, I'm trying. You saw that video where he's like, I'm just trying things to see what works.
He lost your footing, because like once you have to sit down like that at any point, you're trying to figure out the whole label thing, it's hard to keep it moving. It's like when... Like, I remember when, like, Tupac was in jail and they were like, yeah, well, he's going to write, or even Lil Wayne, yeah, he could come out with and write some crazy stuff. I'm like, no, it doesn't really work that way. You're not inspired to do that in that space. So
but didn't that happen with Pac, though? When he came out and he put out that album, that was some of his best work.
I think Pac is a different beast, because Pac just did, Pac knew his demise was coming, and he just did so much records. They were saying he would do like 13 to 14 tracks a night.
But we can't compare Pac to Uzi, because that's like comparing water to milk.
It's a liquid, though.
They're both liquid because both of them rap, but there's zero sustenance in water. Water is in terms
minerals
of
or something in there,
in terms of calories and stuff like that. Like you can survive off of water for a certain period of time, but milk actually has protein and it has vitamins and things like that. So Uzi is water.
Yeah. Damn.
So even if he's water, I do want to say, hey, congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Because the next thing I was going to say, do we think this is a number one album because it's Uzi, or because he went a different direction with the music?
It's Uzi.
It's because it's Uzi.
It's Uzi. Okay. He's a big artist, so and then that I Wanna Rock nonsense.
Nonsense.
To me, it's that's how I speak.
Okay, I know.
That's how I speak.
gotta give you shit.
it put the numbers up for him. So you know that worked. But he stole my boy Cardi's style on that album. You know, it is what it is. They're boys too. So,
but I do think like with the whole state of hip hop and rap, like I just had heard about like we didn't have a number one or anything,
so he put us back on.
He put us back, so you can't be mad at dude, right? So
and honestly too, I think if you think about it, like this is because we were the number one genre going into 2020. People like I expect that every year that it's going to be put out. But albums take a long time to roll out, and so even though it feels like we just drop stuff regularly, a lot of the top people have been quiet. Like when was the last Kendrick was last year, the last J. Cole was last year, the last Drake was last year.
And then music moves in
Kanye,
music moves around. You know, you get your years where, hip hop has been dominating, but you'll get like I remember back in the early 2000s, late 90s, rock was really doing big numbers, and now you don't hear much. So I feel like maybe hip hop is going to take a little bit of a backseat, and something else is going to pop to the forefront. You never know.
Yeah.
But with that being said, our last topic for Wrapped is a little hip hop beef between Pusha and Jim Jones. Capo came out and did what he did.
He did what he did.
Pusha came out and did what he did. That started the whole thing. How do you guys feel about it?
So my thing is, I actually heard Capo first.
Okay. Oh, you heard Capo before you heard Pusha.
Right.
Okay.
And so when I heard Capo, I was like, yo, he did his thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like even the whole setup of it, right? The music video was like on the streets, on the corner somewhere. He had the mic dangling from the ceiling.
Why is that a thing these days? I don't understand why that's a thing, but go ahead.
It is a thing. Yeah. And he went at him. And I ain't gonna. So over the years, I've gotten to like Jim Jones better. But there was a point in time where I didn't care for him rapping.
I agree.
I think he did some decent rapping. He threw some shots out there. He didn't take long to respond. And my thing is Pusha T, right? So I was like, this is good. And then I went to Pusha T, and then I was like, damn, this is great. But but the train of hearing things, right? Capo first, then Pusha T. But Jim Jones. But I'm like, even after hearing Pusha T, knowing that's great, I still don't think he completely like killed him. Because Jim Jones' response in the way he presented it, the time he spent to even get it out there, that's what a beef should look like, right? And then, of course, Pusha T came back and responded. And
he did? He did a response? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that.
And
after Capo dropped his record?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. I haven't heard that.
There was nothing from Jim Jones after that one. I think that might have been like all he had at that point. He's like, all right.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. But I heard the Pusha first, and it wasn't even like an official song or anything like that. It was just a part of a song that I heard, and I don't know. I think what Pusha does, I enjoyed that because he's just gonna put that out there. And he's going to rap as high level as Pusha does. And whatever happens, happens. I'm going to just sit back. And I like that. And he did what he was supposed to do. I heard what Capo had to say, and it was cool. But it's Jim Jones. There was no finesse to it. You know, it was like what I expected from him. But I don't know. To me, this whole dynamic between them, it's gonna fizzle out quick because at the end of the day, like no one cares about what Jim Jones got to say, man.
Or Pusha T.
Nah, Pusha moves. He moves. When he starts to rap, he moves the industry a little bit.
He moved the industry by the fact that he's connected to Kanye. Yes.
His words are what's doing
it. Yeah. There's a whole ton of other people connected to Kanye, and I ain't heard nothing about them.
For real.
Okay.
What's his name?
Good Music is a whole label.
I don't know what's going on with good Music.
I've been very quiet during this part because I have very strong feelings.
We already know you're biased.
Same Usher thing?
No, not the same. Well, no.
Would you let Pusha T spin your girl?
Kill.
I'm saying
he gonna jump across the stage
in a hypothetical situation because the Usher thing was hypothetical.
Clean it up.
Can Pusha do?
Clean it up. There's another type of clips, another type of clips. Anyway, that was a little ridiculous. Anyway, so here's my thing. Why did this beef start? And when I started realizing why this beef started, I was like, this is a stupid beef, and I don't want to pay attention to it.
Hold on, what was it again? It was off a list.
Jim Jones said Pusha T's not in his top 50.
Right?
Okay, yeah,
and I agree.
Well, it's his top 50, which is.
But I agree, he's not in my top 50.
Also not in your top 50. But is he in your top 100?
He'll be my top 100.
Oh, really? Wow, I'm surprised.
That's a blessing for him, huh?
No, I'm like, he may be not.
At least he made it to 100.
He's a half of an artist, so someone else is.
No, listen, my issues with Pusha, and I understand maybe this goes back to your expectations with Uzi, but my issue with Pusha stemmed primarily from the fact that I went to one concert that he was performing at.
This guy will not.
I will not let it down.
I know.
I'm gonna tell the story because I never told the story. I
don't think you told it here. Yeah,
me and my boy, we went to the concert. We showed up. It was at this thing in Silver Spring. We showed up. They had a whole mind you. I think he was just the ending, the closing act. So that's fine. A bunch of unknown artists, performed before him. That's fine. All of that. This man came on after we waited 2 hours for him to hit the stage, performed for like 2 seconds, and then dipped out.
That's disrespectful.
And I'm like, yo, I didn't know I was going to a Lauryn Hill concert, bro.
Dang, she got a stray bullet just now.
But these are facts.
Lauryn Hill does her concert. Listen, her music is amazing, but she don't show up to her concerts, bro.
And at this point, can we even say her music is amazing? Because Lauryn Hill literally only put out one full record, and then just has been.
I think she's one of those like unique talents that we will probably never see someone ever do what she did. But
Drake is doing it.
Not to her level.
I agree with, maybe not the singing part.
Not the singing part.
The level is.
I feel like
even crazier.
We might add in a dash of nostalgia to this because I feel like music was also super different at that time.
Trust me. I love the Fugees record and I own it. And I love the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and I own it. But this was what? Late 90s?
Yeah, it was a while.
Yeah. She was doing something that was not being done. Yeah. Rapping at an extremely high level and singing at an extremely high level. Now, we got a lot of artists that do that. So
it's soulful too, her singing. So
see, that's what it really was, though. It was not just the fact that she was rapping and singing at a high level, but she was actually, it was like, that was that music that hit you, music you could feel.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
it carried her, but
anyway, I say all that to say is like my issue with Pusha T in this case is like I feel like also the stuff that he does like in the beef, like the beef with Drake, I was just like, we had a whole long argument about this. I don't want to necessarily want to go back to, but I feel like Pusha T is also he's in a space where he chooses his beefs very, very, very carefully. Now, Jim Jones, I do have a lot of respect for what Jim Jones has done to get to where he is at. Yeah. I mean, that man went from not being a rapper to being like one of the biggest people in Dipset at this point. Because he's bigger than everybody else, right? Like, when they did the verses, like, you see they rolled out Jim like he was Cam. Like, so he's one of the biggest. But I'm saying, like, and that's why I respect what he did, because, like, back as from a verbal, like, standpoint, Jim Jones held his own with Pusha T, but, like, why didn't Pusha go at, like, I think, was there some beef between the Clips and, like, 50 at some point?
Was there? I'm not familiar with
I feel like there
one.
was some. There was other beefs out there that I feel like I didn't see him add the level of attention that he added to Drake or to Jim Jones.
I get that, and I still respect the fact that Pusha will give bars to whomever. I don't know about that beef.
Oh, what about Lil Wayne? Why he didn't say nothing to Lil Wayne?
Bro, there's a lot of history with him and Lil Wayne where he gave him many, many, many bars.
Okay.
It's just. I just like the fact that he'll go at anyone.
Yeah. For the culture.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's kind of like what hip hop is supposed to be. If someone is talking greasy and you want to get back at them, you jump on the mic and you say what you have to say and they do it. And we like that sparring back and forth. Is when it becomes physical. That's when it's like we're not a big fan of it. So I appreciate him for doing what he was supposed to do as a hip hop artist. I appreciate
both of them. I mean, it was great because it happened and it's over.
And I was gonna say, when's the last time we had that? Like, just a no beef in the streets or anything.
Where
just
it stayed just on the mic.
on wax.
There's been a lot. I feel like.
Well, I mean, most recent one that you can think of. Because I want to say, Meek. I was gonna say the last one.
But that was also before. Which one?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say the last one I can think of is the whole Drake, Kanye, and Pusha T. I don't know anybody who's spitting bars.
Yeah, so I appreciate the fact that he will still
like going back and forth. Yeah, I'm even trying to think of like the women too. Like I know Nicki Minaj has some beef, but I don't think anybody's gone like track for track.
Yeah,
since like that's not a thing anymore. When it used to be, that used to be the thing to do.
That used to be
right,
and that's so what hip hop is. But I don't think too many people are doing that. So if he's gonna keep that culture, I appreciate it.
I agree. I'm doing it as respectfully as possible in that situation. Exactly.
Anyway,
you want to jump into some black excellence after we just talk about some niggatry?
Yeah, I just like salute Jim.
Yeah. Oh. No, salute Jim because because Styles explained to me why, and I agree. Like if you look at the trajectory of Jim Jones from where he started to where he is now, that man has changed. Pusha, as long as I've known him, has kind of flatlined. He's still a very good rapper, and he still does what he does at a high level, but there's no like the needle isn't moving.
Yeah,
what he was doing with Clips is the same thing he's doing today.
And as I was probably one of the biggest Clips fan. I still have the records they did. I remember when they did that whole, like, one of my favorite records from the Clips was when they did Zenith. Like, I was on the mixtape joints with them, which is why I was so upset when I saw the Pusha concert and it was subpar. And I mean, I know that's a thing that happens, but like, I've been spoiled by like Ludacris. Like I don't know if I told you a Ludacris story, but I'll be a Ludacris fan forever. We were literally at a concert. I was working there. I was doing some like volunteer type work for a label, and this man came over and shook every one of our hands. I'm like, I'm a fan for life. He didn't have to do nothing, right? Like, and just so when you're looking at people who are in this light and performing and stuff like that, I think it's important and imperative that people remember that these fans paid their money to come out to see you. So you got to give them something. Right? And
for sure.
And that's why it's like it's hard for me to like really support like Pusha T, especially now. I just feel like his last album, and spitting all over myself. His last album was probably one of his best albums.
That's how much he hates Pusha T. He's just seething,
just losing it, bro.
Yeah, he's drooling from the mouth. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think his last album was amazing. One of the best albums I feel like I've heard him on. But at the same time, I don't feel like we go to Pusha T for anything other than that cocaine
coke raps.
And that's one of the problems of when you come out at the top. It's hard to once you hit that level, it's hard to do things beyond that. Like Jim for me, when I started listening to his music, he was like trash.
Bro, he was the last member of that team.
He was the last one,
Yeah, you got to give his growth respect.
Yeah. So with that said, I salute him.
Salute both Pusha and Jim.
I salute Jim. So back under Black excellence. So how do Jay-Z is Brooklyn as Brooklyn gets, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on, he took Oprah to the projects,
and so the Brooklyn Museum, they gave him some salute. They built out a whole thing for him, and I will check it out when I go. Yeah,
he has an exhibit now.
Yeah. I'll check it out when I go back to Brooklyn. It's been a while, but I think that is one of the biggest things we want to call out. Like, it's just celebrating that because, we get to celebrate people while they're alive, right? Like, that doesn't always happen. So
give him his flowers while he's here.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Salute that, man.
Yeah. And then it also shows that hip hop can be more than just the thug version of things that people see. It's not always just gun violence and drugs and degrading women and all of this. There's actually something good that can come out of it. So yeah, that's definitely something to highlight as Black excellence.
And this is the first time something like this has happened?
I think there's the hip hop museum.
There's there's a hip hop museum, and there's also in the African American Museum. There's a lot of stuff in there that's like super hip hop. Like they had like No ID.
My bad.
They have the No ID like drum machine, and they have a lot of stuff from a lot of people. Oh,
really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's they do exist. I don't know if there's any super focused on one artist like that, to my knowledge. So salute that man, Hove.
That's a fact.
But
that wraps up.
We're wrapped.
The month of July.
We're wrapped. So if you made it this far, we already know what I say every time. You're the real MVP. Not MVP, but MVP. Not that guy. I don't have anything. But yeah, we appreciate you. Stay tuned for more stuff, more interesting stuff from In Crowd. We have Juxtapose. We have In Crowd reviews. Also check out Aaron's channel, Paul River Finance.
And we'll be back to wrap up the month of August.
Whoop, whoop. Quicker than you can think. These time runs so fast. So as always, we appreciate you. It's In Crowd. We're out.
Peace.